Good afternoon. My name is Andrew Rager. I'm here to talk to you today about why college football players should earn a base salary for the games they play for their universities. Number one, we need to look at the universities themselves. College football is their bread and butter. They make more money off of college football, at least the major ones, than their tuition. Which, does that sound crazy? Sure sounds crazy to me. Why do they have to make so much money off of college football and then the athletes get nothing? Their head coaches, you look at the top 15 schools value-wise of their college football programs, the top 5 coaches in base pay plus salaries, plus bonuses and salaries are all in that top 15. Nick Saban makes almost $5.5 million for Alabama, which Alabama's football program is worth around $91 million. Mac Brown, who coaches at Texas's program is worth over $100 million. He makes over $5 million every year. Bob Stoops, who coaches at Oklahoma, also almost makes $5 million, and so on down the line. These coaches are making exorbitant amount of money to coach kids who aren't making anything. These kids, they get tuition, they get fees, they get their books, they get their supplies, they get a meal plan. So they are given things a lot more than the normal college student is given. Most college kids, me, anybody here I'm going to be talking to at this point, we don't get this stuff. We don't just have things handed to us. We do have to earn it. But then you sit down and you think to yourself, all of these football players getting this handed to them. They're going out and playing every single week. It's what they do. It's what they've known since they were peewees, since they were in high school. They were brought to college to play football at these major universities. You go to a Division III school, like I grew up in Pennsylvania, like a Millersville, something like that, they're not going to make it to the NFL. You play at Alabama, you play at LSU, Oklahoma, you're going to most likely go to the NFL. That is your goal. You went to Alabama, you went to Notre Dame, so that that school can get you to the NFL, where you're paid for playing football. So why should it be any different in college? Why should the universities, why should the coaches keep all the money brought in by TV contracts, revenue, jersey sales? Kids aren't even allowed to have their names on the back of their jerseys when the NCAA sells them. So you sell a jersey for LSU, you cannot put the quarterback on the back of the jersey. It would just be his number. LSU fans know it, but at the same time, it's a little disappointing for that player that they can't have their name on it. Now, after they graduate, you can buy a jersey with that player's name on it. You can go out, you can buy a Dan Marino University of Pittsburgh jersey, but you can't buy a Ray Graham University of Pittsburgh jersey, who currently plays there. The most important part of this is why I want to pay college athletes. It's not just they need a little bit extra money. They're working. They're the ones putting in the effort. The coaches do their job and they get the kids ready, but at the end of the day, you're paying to watch kids play football. You go to the games, you watch TV. Advertisers are paying to be on TV at the same time as these kids. They're making money off of these kids for nothing. They're not getting anything. And at the same, they are kids. I mean, most of them are under 21, which is what we view as an adult. They cannot drink, but they can get used for football to make money. It wouldn't cost a lot. Probably $300 to $500 a month for their stipends. I guess you could call it as a stipend. While, it doesn't need to be that much. They're already getting their education paid for. They're getting the books, they're getting the food. Give them a little bit extra money so that they can, have it for free time as well as savings. I mean, if you teach these kids about saving money, about putting the effort and time into knowing that there's going to be life after football, and even for the kids who aren't going to make it to the NFL, At least they can say that they earned a little bit of income. Because if they're putting all the time and effort into practicing at Alabama, and that's not just for the fall, you're doing that in the spring, you're doing that in the summer, you're doing it in the winter, in the hot, cold months up here in Michigan. University of Michigan doesn't just stop at the end of the year. They keep practicing all year round. They're coming to the practice facility. They're working on getting better at blocking. They're working on getting better at passing, catching, tipping the ball at the line of scrimmage. Everything that they have to do, they're getting better at it year round. They don't have time to go get a job. They don't have time to make income so that they can go on spring break, or they can do anything that they want to do, even go to the movies. These kids, not all of them come from privileged opportunities where they have money in the bank, their parents can pay for everything. A lot of them come from towns and situations where they had nothing. You give them some money for their hard work and their effort. It's not a lot, it doesn't take a lot of time, and it won't hurt the universities in any way. The NCAA tries to make us think that by giving kids some money, it's going to spoil them. It's going to ruin the pureness of the game, because that's what the NCAA always tries to say. The difference between the pros and college is that college is the pure form of the game, and they're doing it for the love of the game. But at these major universities, they're not doing it for any other reason other to get to the NFL. And they'll say that tuition, we're giving them tuition. We're giving them an education. But the percentage of kids who finish their schooling before going on to play major football is very low at these major universities. The NFL allows them to come to the NFL from college after 3 years of school. That means you have to be at least a redshirt sophomore to apply to be drafted in the NFL. Now, if you're not drafted, you can go back to school. If you apply for the draft, you get drafted by an NFL team, your college career is over. You can't play any more games in college. You're on the NFL, and it's very hard to continue with your education. There are players who go on and finish their education either during their pro sports career or after. But the scholarship was a moot point then. What was the point of having a scholarship if they weren't going to get a degree? These kids that come out of college right now, they're not trying to go get a degree. They just want an entryway to the NFL. So giving them tuition, it's not earning them anything. It's not giving them the opportunity for the degree, because they're not going there in the first place. They're going to tell Nick Saban when he's trying to bring him to Alabama, he's going to be like, I want you to come into Alabama. We got a great sports program. And not only that, you can earn an education. They're going to go to him, Coach, that sounds great. I want to go to Alabama because I know you can get me to the NFL. I'm not so sure I'm looking for that education. I don't think I care that much. I want to go to the NFL. Is that the right way to look at it? It's probably not. They don't need that. They should try to get their education, but that's not on their mind at the moment. They're trying to figure out how to make money to support their family, how to make a living in this world where they didn't think that they had any other talents other than to play football. The only thing they might be good at is running, juking and spin moving and doing everything on the field that's very athletic that God has blessed them. They might not have another out. By making some money in college, not only will it gives them another reason, maybe even to stay longer. A lot of people will leave college to go get that paycheck. Maybe if they're making a little money during their college career, they will stay, finish their degree, then they go play in pro football. Then after their career is over, they have an opportunity to fall back on the degree they've already earned and move on with their life down that road. I truly think that paying college athletes, especially college football players, from programs that make anywhere from $50 to over $100 million, and their coaches make over $3 million, even under that, is a great idea and should be rewarded.